betting the NFL, doing well, can't complain.
So where'd you stay at though?
Cosmopolitan.
That's a drink.
It's also a fantastic hotel.
Yeah, I went there for SummerSlam. They did the event out there at the Legion Stadium.
Okay.
So that was a couple weekends back. And that shit was nerve-wracking.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed at the Luxor.
Oh my. Did you lose a bet?
No. I mean, what is that? I don't know. I've never been to Vegas as an adult.
I've heard it's a shithole. I've never been there. I'm just saying that's what I've heard. It's like, oh, the Luxor, again, never stayed there. I don't know. But that's been the rumor in the campfire. But again, you can confirm or deny those.
I mean, it was fine to me because it was just like I went. And like I said, I've been to Vegas twice, 3 times already, but I was never an adult when I went. So the first 2 times I went, that's just where our plane landed because I was going to visit my sister and them in California. So they came pick us up in Vegas. We went to like Wet and Wild and did kid shit,
Sure.
And then the second time that I technically went as an adult is I graduated from boot camp in San Diego. So my
Seal Beach?
Say what?
Seal Beach?
No, Marine Corps, MCRD San Diego.
Oh, okay. I just know that my brother's best friend is in the Navy and who's down in Seal Beach. But okay, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
So my parents drove from Lake Charles, Louisiana, all the way to fucking San Diego, California. And then we drove back and they wanted to stop in Vegas. So I was 18. So I couldn't do none of the fun shit. So I had to sit in the car for a little while with my pregnant ex-wife at the time.
At 18, you were married with a pregnant ex-wife?
Well, she was my wife at the time, but she's my ex-wife now.
No, I'm saying like you were married at 18. I'm fucking stuck on that.
Yeah. Because I got
goddamn.
Because I knocked her up. I did that.
I mean, I guess you did that.
And then I'm from the South. So it's like you knock her up, you gotta marry her.
Oh my God. I guess abortion's not in the wheelhouse down there, huh?
I know. I mean, it was a planned pregnancy because it
was
just
then never mind.
When you're in the euphoria of the moment, you're like, have my baby. So yeah, I say it was planned.
Wow. I couldn't fathom having a fucking kid at 18. I mean, shit, I didn't have a kid till I was, do the math, 24, 38.
Okay, so
I was 30 when I had my only kid. So I got all my shit out, I think.
Well, see, yeah, it worked in reverse for me. But like I grew up in that environment, so it was like something that I knew I wanted as a kid. And then, being a kid making dumb decisions, I wound up having a kid. I mean, not saying I'm not regretting it, but it was just like I was going to do it anyway, but it was ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I wanted to wait until I had money and I used all my youth to go out and do dumb shit. That's why I waited because again I wanted to say, all right, I don't need to go out and get fucked up, 5 nights or whatever out of the week. I'm done with that. Now I can have a kid and not have to worry about those urges anymore.
But you know how young and impressionable kids are. And like I said, that was my family dynamic. My father was retired military. My brothers was military. A lot of the family was military. I would visit them. I would hang with them. I would stay with them. And I seen the lifestyle and I was like, oh man, I got to do the same thing because they're going to give me some money. They're going to give me a free house. I can take my family all over the world. I was, just indoctrinated in that world. So when I fuck around and got her pregnant, I was like, well, I guess I can start the dream early, right? So I knocked her up and then I joined the military. Then we got married. Then 9/11 happened. And I was like, fuck, I thought I was going to get this free money, go to college and do some, some fly shit, And then I thought I was going to die because I was going to Iraq. And I was like, let me knock you up again so I can get a boy and we should be good.
Did it pan out?
Yeah. So I got my oldest is a girl and my middle child is a boy. So it worked out.
Well, good for you. What a happy end. That's like almost like a Disney tale.
Oh, well, in the making, yes. But that marriage didn't pan out. So
You don't
here I am.
say.
Yeah. You don't say. So here I am on my second marriage with my third child with her. And we would be empty nesters right now if we hadn't squeezed that one out.
Oh my God.
Because the boy just graduated this year. My daughter graduated the year prior. So the older two are out of the house already. It's just me, her, and the little one.
Oh wow.
So we
That's
would have we would have been, this would have been a no-fly zone. No babies up in here, nothing. We've been walking around butt naked doing all kinds of things.
yeah, butt sex on a dining room table every day for breakfast.
Shit. I mean, you say that with a lot of confidence and conviction. It's like this is the norm or something for real.
I mean, nothing gets panties wetter, I guess, than not having to pay college tuition, or at least not having a kid in the house.
Oh
So
yeah. Then like even now, like my wife had to have a hysterectomy and shit. So it's just like I know for sure that nothing's getting in there now. So
that's hilarious. I hope you record because these are all gems.
oh, I've been recording.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
I'm not gonna make that mistake ever again. Well, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Because I had a great interview with somebody that I wanted to get on the show for a long time. And we just, just kind of like how we did. We just started and we was just like, yeah, man, it's cool conversation. I looked up about 45 minutes in and I'm like, oh shit.
That happened to us on our podcast once, and I realized that at the very end. I go, and thank God she's a repeat guest. And I go, oh my God, Joanne, I completely fucked up. And she was totally cool. So we just did the same show 5 days later, and
Yeah.
she's, that was awesome of her.
Yeah. I think I lost only one guest like that. I got him on. We had a great conversation. And I was like, oh man, this shit didn't record. And or I don't even think it was a factor that I didn't record. I think it was just like the file got corrupted or some shit and it didn't save. So I was just like, hey, can I get you on again? And like that was 4 years ago. So
Oof. Let's recreate that moment of beauty if best as possible. And remember we were talking about bourbon or whatever.
yeah. And it, since y'all did the thing again, a couple days later, I mean, did it feel like forced to you? Because I've had that instance to where like, oh shit, we didn't record. Let's start now. And I'm like,
We
hey, so
remembered some of the funny parts, and I just made it organically go down that road, and everybody was spot on and recreating everything that was said that was funny. So no, it wasn't for no, there's no one out there like fan wise who was like that wasn't real or whatever or something like that. So
yeah, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
we played it off.
I feel awkward when I do stuff like that because it's just like I want to reference the stuff that we already talked about. I was like, but they don't know what we're talking about.
It's funny.
But just for the fuck of it, we're gonna do the intro and introduce you because
Please.
I'll leave all this in anyway. So, but what up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener or viewer, if you watching, for coming back each and every week or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, go ahead and give them a crisp high five. But if you want to be socially cautious and daggone you worry about COVID and all these other things going on, you don't want to make the skin to skin contact, go ahead, pick up your social media app of choice and send them a well-crafted DM telling them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rambles with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, YouTube, you can see this video for this interview, Twitch, Facebook Gaming, just look for 3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgotten to mention, you can find on randomrob.com. Hey, don't forget the motherfucking sponsor, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Go to hooksrub.com and you can get 15% off your order if you use promo code You guessed it, random. So yeah, do all that shit that I just said in a very rapid pace. But joining me on this special occasion, I'm honored. I wish Kevin number 2 was here. I forgot which one of y'all was oldest, but he's not here, so he's Kevin number 2. So joining me from the gutting, and I got my direction right. Usually I point the wrong way. The Sacred Cow podcast. We got Kevin Goatee. How are you, sir?
Rob, it's been a spell, a minute, whatever you want to call it. It's been too goddamn long by my account. How you been doing, buddy?
I've been doing things. I mean, you kind of got wind of it already, but
Yep.
it's 100 freaking episodes. I got to bang my desk on that because as a
Oh, I love the emphasis on the 100. Yes, 100 episodes of Gutting the Sacred Cow. We are insanely proud of this podcast, and we've done a monster job. I say we're the best movie podcast there is out there. No one is doing what we're doing. Just for the audience, I'll break it down for you real fast, if you'd be so kind. The story is this. We invite our guests to pick a film that they find overrated or hate. But here's the twist. The film has to meet one of these criteria. Widely beloved, critically acclaimed, or a financial success. So you can't come on and go, oh, yeah, Friday the 13th, part 8, that's a real piece of shit. Yeah, no kidding. We know it stinks. So we would have the balls to try and take an unpopular stance on a popular or a successful or an acclaimed film and give you the hill to try and die on and defend it. Now the question is, do we agree with you? Do we go, it's all right? Or do we say, no, you're a fucking moron. This film is perfect, or you're just stupid.
Yeah.
Do we? You find out. And I think for this week's episode, I don't know when this is going to air, but our 100th episode happens to be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's right.
Ooh.
Mike Burns from Slapstick, it's a website, comedy website, has the audacity to come on our show and say, it stinks. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, no good. And then we also did, as a celebration for our 100th, we're going to tape 2 episodes with fans. Okay. We're inviting we invited 2 fans based on their pitch and their movie selection to come on our podcast and see, because they're always like, oh, I could come on and do it. Yeah, you think it's that fucking easy? Because we are experts at knocking people's dicks down if we don't like what they have to say. And I sound like such a pompous asshole, but whatever. Yes, we're good at that. And people are like, oh, I'm good enough to do it. Okay, well, here you go. Here's your chance. And we did it, and we allowed the audience submitted a bunch of their pitches, and we have chosen 2 people, and they have chosen, their films are ready. Commando.
Ooh.
And Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh shit. I was just looking at that upstairs, or I was thinking about introducing that film series to my younger child. And
I'd say it's time. I mean, how old is the lad?
She is 11 years old.
Oh my God. She's buddy, I saw Last Crusade in the theater when I was 12. I mean, what's taking so long? I had all the Indiana Jones on VHS by that point, man. You should definitely throw those first 3 to her, not the 4th one. The 4th one is an abortion.
Well, yeah, because that's what I've been doing here lately, since because the older kids are out of the house. She was real close with my son, the middle child or whatever. They was inseparable. So, they had their own brand of, theater that they like to watch. So I just kind of let them run with it. But now, since all the older kids are gone, I'm the linchpin now. It's like I'm the one that she's, stuck at the hip with, hence why I got plush animals in my office right now. So it's just like I've been just, putting in the time and watching movies with her and introducing her to Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Okay.
And I think what else we just watched? We watched The Thing, the original one.
Kurt Russell, John Carpenter. I gotcha.
And then we watched the remake, which is actually a prequel to the John Carpenter one.
Never. I didn't see that one. I didn't think The Thing was all that. I really, be honest, didn't think it was that fantastic as everybody made it out to be. Yeah. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, going back and watching it now, it was just like my opinion on it has changed, because I before watching it with her, I loved it, but watching it now with her, it was just like it kind of took a little bit of the mystique away from me because my child is born in the age of like they know damn near everything. So
Right.
we watching the original, the John Carpenter joint, and that's like real practical effects. So we're
Mhm.
watching it, and the dog is turning into the thing with the tentacles and stuff. She's like, "Whoa, that is good special effects." And I'm like, "I thought this shit was real when I was a kid." you know, like I had some. I was kind of scared, but she just like, "Oh, I wonder how they did the effects, and how they did this and all this stuff." So I'm purposefully picking movies like that because I feel like, that's an interest of hers. Like she might wind up wanting to do special effects makeup or some crazy shit like that. So I'm going around trying to pick older movies like that and, movies and the like to kind of, get the creative juices flowing.
Right. Gotcha. That's I took my daughter last year when they re-released Empire for the 40th anniversary. I took her to
Oh,
that, and she was pretty good with that.
mhm. Yeah, she likes all of them because that was with my son, that was his stuff that he liked. He liked Star Wars and all the Harry Potter joints and everything. So she watched all that with him. So now I'm trying to introduce her to a whole nother line of film and everything, older comedies and everything, because they made the reference at the end of Robin Hood Men in Tights about blazing saddles.
Right.
And she was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Huh, huh, huh, you're in for a treat." And I'm looking on the movie shelf like, right here. We'll catch that next time.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, 12, right? We're
Yeah.
getting that's on the borderline of can you show that one to the kid yet or not?
I
We're
mean,
close.
from and what's funny about Blazing Saddles itself, my wife, uh, what up until last year or the year before, she hadn't seen Blazing Saddles before. So I introduced that film to her as well. But
Uh, I
like,
guess it worked out. She's still with you. It sounds like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, freaking Sunday was our 13-year anniversary.
Look at you, you two lovebirds.
So yeah, lucky 13.
Congrats.
Appreciate it. And let me log out of this goddamn Discord because everybody want to send the messages and all kinds of
Put
stuff
on
in.
messages. Let's see what that. Let's see if the audience loves me or hates me or is just quite
Oh no,
ambivalent.
we're not live. We're just doing this.
Oh,
It's contained. We could have did that though. If you was down, I could have just pressed the live button. We could have
well,
did
we're
live.
not. Go ahead, press it. Let's see what happens.
Oh shit, I don't know how that would work now.
Oh, never mind that.
But fuck it, I don't want to fuck nothing up. But here we are at 100 episodes for your show.
Yes, sir.
Thinking back to episode 1 when y'all, you came together, y'all Wonder Twins activate into the form of movie critics. Um, how did you foresee at episode 1 that you would be here at episode 100?
I'm not surprised. No, I had no problem foreseeing that because I usually see shit through, and
Mhm.
when I pitch this to people, they're like, "That's a really fucking good idea." Like it wasn't people you tell the story about, like with podcast, everyone's done everything pretty
Yeah.
much, and when you have something that and this is what I've written. I've created a few TV shows. I'm trying to get them sold to networks or OTT platforms. What I like to do is I like to take an established platform, established theme,
Mhm.
and have an insanely unique twist to it. I did that with Comics Bunch of Comics. I did it with Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber. With this, it's like, well, how many jerk offs are out there now with movie podcast? A
A lot.
lot. And how many of them suck? A
A
lot.
lot.
It's like four dudes sitting around their table just drinking beers. No, dude, no one knows who they are. No one gives a shit who they are. You
Yeah.
have to be insanely hilarious or have a name or be a name to do that and
Mhm.
hook them in. But a lot don't and I think we really, first of all, I know we have a great theme, and I think we're pretty darn funny being, comics. Kevin's been a comic for over 20 years, me for 11 more. And it's just, and it's a brand new theme. It's like the
Yeah.
goal is to get people looking at their phone going, what? This
Yeah.
asshole hates Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Mhm.
What? And then they go, I'm going to hate listen to this. And I knew we had something, and I forgot what the number was. But I was pretty, when we started for this first back 2 years ago, October of 2019, I think it was like March of that following year of 20, where we had on our buddy now our buddy David, the producer, and he
Yeah.
did the Goonies, and that is where people like came out of the woodwork
Yeah.
going,
I
"What?
remember that.
He hates the fucking Goonies?" And then it just kind of started like ratcheting up faster than I thought we would. And I like to think the pandemic was a big help for that, because it afforded me and Kevin, but more, I mean, I do a lot of the work. It's my podcast, it's my stuff, so I do all the grunt work. We had an apprentice do work for us too, and that's knock all the behind the scene bullshit work out during the pandemic. So people are going, "Oh, the pandemic sucked." Yeah, it sucked. I mean, I missed vacations, I missed other shit.
Yeah.
Ended up fucking offending my job, not about a year later, whatever. But at least I took that time and got a lot of shit done. And that's why I think, for a podcast like us who've been out for 2 years, all that extra time I had because of the pandemic, I was able to utilize it and make hay while the sun shines and get shit going. So
yeah, I know. That's how I built this shit.
there you go, man. You're a doer. You're not a talker. We're both doers. We're not talker. So yeah, I'm not really surprised that to make it to 100, especially. And again, I never at one point did I feel, oh, we're slipping. No, not at all. I felt at the worst we were neutral, but more so gaining ground, gaining acceptance, gaining new fans, people shouting us out like this is a real good idea, and getting some even some higher level names in the podcast too. That also helps. But yeah, no, I'm not surprised. And the best news is that we can go another 100 easily, because how many hundreds of thousands of films are out there?
Oh, boy.
But again, how many films are going to qualify? But plenty. And of course, now that the pandemic's over and people are releasing new movies now again, these movies will be possibly classics, or someone may say, "Hey, fuck it. I want to go try and gut the new Bond film, or I want to try and gut the new Halloween film or the Sopranos film or whatever film they want to do." So, this is evergreen content, unlike some of my other podcasts I did. Fantasy football jibber jabber. Once you listen to that episode, you're not going to go back 2 years later and go, "Hey, how did Kevin do week 9 in 2020 against the spread?" No one gives a shit. But with this, you can go back at any time and go, "Hey, Forrest Gump, fuck that film. Let's see if this guy gets it right." Or, "Holy shit, she did Pulp Fiction. Fuck her. We're going to see how she could possibly hate it." And there we go.
Word. So 100 episodes, 100 films, respectively, and 100 more. So what is on your hit list right now that y'all have not covered that you want to get to?
So the guest picked the film. We don't pick the film. We don't tell the guest, "Hey, you have to go do Shawshank." Nope. The guest, because I don't want manufactured hatred. I want pure organic hatred.
Yeah.
If you listen to, I think it's episode 4, Jeff Paul does Spaceballs. My buddy Jeff Paul.
Yeah.
You hear the venom dripping from his voice. You hear the contempt, the hatred. You hear his disdain for that movie. That is what we want. So, but to answer your question, I think films that are bulletproof, and there are some films I thought that were bulletproof that have been picked. I thought Die Hard was bulletproof. Guess what? No. I thought The Matrix was bulletproof. Guess what? No. By the way, those 2 films done by the same guy, Don Jameson, comic from That Metal Show. And he's an absolute sweetheart. And I mean that in the weirdest way possible of a dude. Nicest guy in the world. Love Don. He's on Compound Media. I'll throw him a plug. He's a great dude. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was done. Dark Knight Rises was done. But I think that's a sacred cow. I'm just trying to think of some other ones. But the ones I still think that no one's going to try and come at try and take a run at the castle are Back to the Future, Goodfellas, Naked Gun, Airplane as well. I'll throw that in there. Shawshank, let's get that out in the mix. Jaws, L.A. Confidential. I mean, those are perfect films. But here's another one. We had 2 gals, different gals, come on. One did E.T.
Ooh, okay.
And wait. Here's the one that's going to make you fucking angry. And the other one did Toy Story.
The first
I saw your face flinch. Yeah. It doesn't. Listen, Rob, doesn't matter. 1 through 3 are perfect films. She could have chosen 2. She could have chosen 3. We'd all be aghast with her choice. She chose 1. I mean, which is, by the way, the only film that I can recall that has a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even
Yeah.
Godfather 2, or Godfather 1 does not.
I mean,
Godfather 2 was actually done as podcast too. Not 1, but 2 was done. So yeah.
So like, even thinking about Toy Story 1, I haven't watched it in a long, long time. The only thing that I can really nitpick about it off the top of my head is just like freaking just visually where the technology was then to compare to what it is now,
Guess
like
what? Guess what? I rewatched it maybe 6 months ago. It still fucking holds up. It's not as polished. It's not as
yeah,
polished, but it's still. You're not like, ugh, gross. It's not
yeah.
as flawed as
I
let me
mean, they all
pull one
look
out.
like toys
The
anyway.
Lawnmower Man or something like that with the VR. Remember that one? Yeah.
Yes.
But it's but even if it's not a 10 for today's technology, you could still
Mhm.
say 7 or 8 with ease. And the story is fucking flawless and perfect, and
Yeah.
the characters are amazing and funny. It's a perfect film.
I forget which film we watched. It was an older one, so the effects weren't of the time were of the time when we watched it. And like I said, my kid, I felt like I was on one of your episodes or whatever. I'm watching one of my beloved classics, get ripped apart by my little kid and shit. She's just like, "Oh, those special effects are awful." I'm like,
Well, I'll tell you this.
"Whoa, whoa, whoa, little
Yeah.
one."
So the effects, like, look, some are dated. Even like Star Wars, it's still
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay, it's dated, but it doesn't look awful. You know what film effects are mind-blowingly awful? Ghostbusters. And
yeah.
mind you, Ghostbusters came out after Star Wars, after Empire, after Jedi, after the first 2 Star Trek films. So
Mhm.
there's no excuse for it to be lackluster effects. I mean, they are awful.
Yeah. I think the tide really turned around what it was, 98, 99 when Blade 1 and the first Matrix movie came out. That's when the tide started to turn as far as visual effects
You're
because
you're you're missing a key one, and I'm very surprised you missed it.
oh, educate me, I'm sorry.
Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, you fucking right. I'm a goddamn dummy. Yeah.
I didn't say that. You're a smart man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. If you want, and it's funny, I'm going to tie this into my show again. Well, actually, 2 things. One, we actually had a guy, Ray Goots, comic in New York here, good dude. He came on to do Jurassic Park. Now, we had another guy who was on who did the movies that made us, AC Rowe. Sorry. Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself. We had AC Rowe on to do Wolf of Wall Street. He got in touch with the guy who got on Netflix. You ever see the movies that made us and the toys that made us?
I've heard of it, but I never
It's
watched it.
great. He got that guy on the show, and it just so happens season 3 is coming out very soon. His name is Brian Volk Weiss, real nice guy too. The movies that made us season 2 just came out a month ago, and they had on Jurassic Park. The story, how the Jurassic Park effects came to be, are amazing. They were going to do like animatronic puppetry.
Yeah.
But then this one guy who was like this rebel, he doesn't look a computer nerd. He looks like a dude who's like a CrossFitter on steroids at a gym. There's this computer guy who was tinkering with the design that you saw in the film. And the rest of everybody was like, no, don't rock the boat. We're going to do with the animatronic stuff. They were building the models. You see it in the episode.
Yeah.
And what happened was he set up a monitor outside of the meeting where Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy were doing. They walk out of the meeting room, and right there is playing the computer animation of the T-Rex. And she's like, what is this? He goes, this is what we could do for Jurassic Park now instead of the model. She goes, do that. So the head of the special effects department got insanely pissed off at this guy because he went over his head. And but that's the reason why what we saw, what came out in Jurassic Park now is because of that. I thought that was an amazing fun fact.
Yeah, because they did a combination of the both, but it was a lot more CGI than the.
No, it was all CGI. It was all
of it,
computer
even
wired.
like
Yeah,
the part when they up in the damn tree and shit. And the damn brontosaurus come in and blow the snot on them.
Oh, you know what? I shouldn't say with certainty. I'm pretty sure that it's all CGI. I could be wrong. Maybe the brontosaurus is.
Yeah,
but
I feel like some even the one that was the Tyrannosaurus that was sick and she dug in the poop and
the Triceratops. Yeah,
Triceratops
with the
or
shit.
whatever.
Yep.
So I thought like that one when he had his head on the stomach and everything. I thought that was like a model. And then the close up shit, not the damn big bitches running around and shit or whatever.
But you're right, Blade and the Matrix, especially the Matrix. The Matrix was a game changer. I walked out of that movie going, I was in college. I was ready to graduate college. I think a month before I graduated, I go, holy shit, man, that is just changed the game.
And
Bullet
just
Time was created obviously because of that.
and shit, damn, I think I, I don't know which one came first, but there was a video game called Max Payne that had
Max
that
Payne,
mechanic in it.
I have it, and that came after the Matrix. Yes,
Oh,
Max
after.
Payne 1,
Okay, all
2,
right.
and 3. I've got them. Believe me, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And they made an awful movie with Marky Mark.
Oh boy, I have it in the collection because I'm a glutton for punishment.
I hope you got it in the $5 bin at Best Buy.
You fucking right, and that's why I got it because it was $5. Because like I'm somewhat of a movie collector or whatever. I got like damn near what's my count? I don't want to give you any. I want to be accurate in my speak,
Well, you
but
can give me a ballpark. I won't be offended if you don't get it on the nose.
we have technology in my palm of my hand, and I have 1,757 movies.
Good God.
I mean,
I'm a
and I
film
know a
guy, and
guy that I
you
had
got
at
me destroyed. I mean, if I counted all, and I gave away a ton of VHS tapes and even DVDs to my parents. I mean, the Blu-rays, the digital stuff. Shit, I've got I think I have 3 copies. I've got a copy of The Matrix on DVD, a copy of a Blu-ray, and of course the digital. So it's like I have some films. I'm like, well, I've got to keep going up and up and up with the generations of it. So,
yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
like
I don't have anywhere near 1,700. I mean, I'd be shocked if I had fuck 800 would be my best guess.
so like with that, it's just like yeah, it sounds that's a big number to have like physical media. But I had a guy, Mike Went, on this show, and he does I don't know if they do it anymore. I haven't been getting any updates, but they had their own movie podcast called That Movie Show, and this dude has a full freaking room of cinema, like physical copies or whatever, and his is like maybe double mine.
Wow.
So it might even be higher than that. I can't remember the interview right off the top of my head, but he has way more than because I used to walk around this bitch amongst my peers thinking I was the kingfish. I was like, yeah, ain't nobody got many movies as me. And then he was like, I was like, how many movies you got, brother? And he was like, I got something thousand. I was like, ooh.
But here's the thing: you say you have 1,700, so let's just work with you. And the other guy, because this is just going to be in scale comparison. If you have 1,700, you own a lot of shitty movies just by
Oh yes,
law of principle. Like
of
I
course.
try and keep my listen, there are films that are guilty pleasures, but I'm sure you have films that you flat out fucking hate and you're like, why did I buy that? Example, Max Payne. That's a glutton for punishment. How many times have you watched that? Like my collection, I think, is really there's very little fat there. Like I've at least rewatched it at least 2 times. I would think all the films that I have, and again, sometimes I've given away. But if you have that many, you've got a lot of films that fucking suck.
Oh yeah.
And got the other guy too. I mean, I think that's just more of a dick measuring contest. But it's like, yeah, but there's so much more fat on that bone than good stuff. I mean, you can't like that many movies. That's insane. That if you do, you have a low barometer, and well, whatever. But
Well,
I
see,
think with that kind of numbers, man, you have a lot of shitty movies in there. You're like, why did I buy Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift? Ugh, gross.
I have that.
There you go.
I just bought Fast 9 today.
Why did you buy? I didn't see it. I'm gonna get it. You're gonna laugh, and I don't give a shit. I still get Netflix DVDs, and here's why.
Oh
I don't have to pay for. I don't have to rent it. I pay for it, but
yeah.
I don't have to go out and rent it. Like a la Blockbuster, obviously, but pay for a digital rental, which is I don't know what they try and rent for a new release like that. I don't know, and I get it immediately. If I just have it on streaming, like regular Netflix, I have to wait 6 months for that shit to hit. So
Yeah.
I get the DVDs the day it drops on, for sale, like you bought today. Fast 9, I got a notification. It's coming in the mail tomorrow. That and Spiral, that last Saw movie with Chris Rock. I'm like, I'm not paying $15 to see either of these shits. I'm mildly curious. I bet they probably suck, but the only thing I'm going to lose is maybe an hour and 45 to 2 hours and 15 minutes of my time each. But I'm not going to waste money on that. Fuck that.
And like the freaking bulk of like the movies that I bought that I've acquired, it's because it was just like, oh, this shit ain't nothing but $1. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. And then it starts taking up space. You're like,
That's it is impressive. I mean, the internet goes out, I can't use my digital shit. Bloop. Just plug in
Right. Oh
plug
yeah,
in the
no, I
copy.
agree. I still get Blu-rays for that exact reason. Like,
Mhm.
and plus it comes with the digital code. I have it anyway.
Yeah. So like I don't even buy DVDs anymore because I mean, well, I do technically because I buy a Blu-ray, it comes with a DVD and a digital code, you know. Or if you even go up to 4K, you buy the 4K, you get a Blu-ray and a digital code. So it's just like, well, whatever. You just pay like $1 or two more.
Not bad.
But
Yeah, that's a lot of. I mean, I'd love for you to do one of these days, and the next time I would come on, if you have me on, you would go. All right, I did a hard count of these 1,700. Like 600 are fucking trash. Just
oh,
trash. Like Howard the Duck,
I
Leonard
have
Part
that.
6, fucking Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell shit. You're like,
I
yeah,
have
I'm gonna
all of
throw
them.
these bitches away, and that's it.
I have all those movies you just named. I do. Well, like
Can I give you? I tell you what, I'm gonna give you a suggestion, Rob. This is one movie no one has seen, barely nobody has seen, and the few people I've spoken to that have seen it's hilarious. It's called Brain Donors, starring John Turturro.
I might have seen it. I have to
It's a
I
different
have to
version of Night at the Opera with Marx Brothers. It's
all right.
fucking hysterical. I highly recommend that you watch it. It's
What about Brain Scan?
I have not seen that.
Oh yeah, it's
But
this
Brain Donors is a comedy. It's a this is a slapstick comedy. Brain Scan sounds like it's a horror film.
it is. It's in the
I
if you
see.
ever seen is in the vein of like what's that movie? Wes Craven, The Shocker. You ever seen that?
I have not seen Shocker.
What?
I mean,
So,
look, I'm not a horror guy. I mean,
yeah,
look, I've seen
but
the basics. I've seen the Nightmare. I mean, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets and shit
yeah,
like that.
own all
The new
those.
Halloween film is going to be bonkers. The last one was
Oh yeah,
awesome.
own all those.
It's great because you have Sopranos come out next week, and then Bond the following week, and then after that, the Halloween Kills. I'm like, well, holy shit! I mean, this year has been terrible for film. It's been awful. The ones that I liked, and I got to think, A Quiet Place 2, I liked.
Yes, seen
I
that one.
liked Mortal Kombat. I thought it was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that's a point of contingence right there. I'm surprised somebody hadn't come up to you, be like, "Hey, Kevin, I want to
Wouldn't
chop this
accept
bitch
it.
to pieces."
Yeah, it wouldn't accept it. That people will go, oh, who gives a shit? That's my goal. Again, back to we want people to get angry when looking at that. People go, Mortal Kombat, who fucking cares? But when Citizen Kane comes on, I go, how are you going to trash Citizen Kane? It won all these awards. So yeah, Mortal Kombat would not be accepted.
I have that film.
Citizen Kane. I mean,
Yeah,
I get why people have that.
I've never seen it,
I don't.
but I have it because I went somewhere and it was just sitting there, and there's like, "You can have it." I was like, "Okay." I think it's still in the plastic too. Never
Oh,
opened it.
that's insulting. I always take the shit out of my plastic the minute I get home and whatnot. But I can't think of anything else. What else did I see in the theater? Oh, I took my kid to go see the Paw Patrol movie and something else. But that doesn't count. I'm trying to think what else I saw in the theater. It's been very slow. There's not
I,
been a lot coming out. Now, I won't see Black Widow. I'll wait for Shang-Chi. I just don't give a shit about
yeah,
the third and fourth.
I've seen both of those. I've seen Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Spiral, the G.I. Joe movie.
Oh, I saw that Snake Eyes. Boy, was that terrible. I hated
Yeah,
it.
it was.
I
And
was so angry with it. I thought, they could do this right. Snake Eyes is a great character.
mhm.
I mean, that whole snake shit in the ground to go, oh please,
Yeah,
this is.
it jumped. The shark was like down here, and it was like, woo.
I tore it apart in my review, but my God, it's just you're gonna
I
have
thought it was gonna be
Cobra,
something else.
have Cobra. And by the way, when they're doing all this stuff, they're like, oh, we're selling weapons. Who's the one guy on Cobra that sells weapons who is not in Snake Eyes? Fucking Zartan. He's a goddamn. Oh, sorry, Destro. Excuse me,
Destro.
Destro.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's a fucking mercenary. How is he not in this movie? This is bullshit. Baroness, okay, sure. But you need more than the Baroness, you dummies. Ugh.
Yeah, they did like the Marvel's Avengers girl power segment when all the women got together and started fighting and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, the forced. Ugh. When it's organic, it's fine. No one has a problem with women badasses. Go watch Atomic Blonde. That film
Oh,
kicks
yes,
ass.
I have that.
I do too. I think it's a fantastic movie. But then it's funny you say that because we just did Mad Max. We taped Mad Max episode the other night, And that everyone's like, oh, Charlize Theron's a great action hero. No, she's not. She drives a truck. She has maybe a couple scenes, but it's not a true bona fide, like, Angelina Jolie in Salt, Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider 1 and 2.
Want it.
Yeah, Wanted. There you go. There's another one. Rey in Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, even though those films stunk.
Oh, have you seen the latest on Netflix? The was that Gunpowder Cupcake or whatever the fuck?
No.
Oh, it's a female lead and she's badass. I think it's the
Is it good?
Yes, I enjoy it. But then again, I got Howard the Duck and Max Payne and all that other stuff in my collection. So take that as you will. But yeah,
Someone has a lot of disposable income. That's how I take that.
Well, nah, see, I was a thrifter, man. Because like I would go to pawn shops and get a lot of this stuff,
People go to pawn shops to get guns or fucking antique swords. You're like, let me get this copy of The Cutting Edge on VHS for 79 cents.
Dude, yeah, because I found a place that was like selling Blu-rays 3 for $10. I was like, come on now. 3 for $10? Come on, player. And then the Blu-rays that I would buy to replace DVDs, I would take the DVDs to the pawn shop and turn them into the pawn shop to buy more movies. So,
a lot of people do the same thing, but with drugs. But I think your addiction is much, much healthier.
Man, what are you talking about?
Peanut butter and cracky cakes.
But, oh man. So we got 100 episodes in the queue.
Yes, sir.
You got many more lined up.
Yes.
You've written a whole bunch of treatments for some other properties and everything like that.
Shot them as well. Like, I had one show was on Amazon Prime for 8 seasons. Comics Watching Comics. Yeah. Look for it on YouTube sooner or later. It's on right now. If for those of you on Twitch, go to is it Comedy TV? I should know this. It's a whatever. Go look for Comics Watching Comics and Gutting the Sacred Cow on Twitch. I believe it's a comedy channel. Fuck. Now I have to look so I make sure I give the guy does all the work. So I should do my due diligence here.
With the format and everything is rock solid, like how you were saying and whatnot. Do you feel like this show could be the one that could sell to someone and be a thing on television and whatnot?
Oh, without question. Without question. We've done a live show where we rented out a theater, an AMC theater, and we watched The Karate Kid with Bill and Joanne from the morning show on Compound Media. Those two are two of our favorite panelists. Kid, and the Karate Kid, the first one, right?
Oh, okay.
And it was perfect timing because Cobra Kai season 3 was about to come out or just came out. We watched the movie in the theater there, and we did an episode in the theater with fans. I mean, it was only 25% capacity because of COVID, obviously, but nonetheless, people were having a fucking ball. That is the goal, to just go around city to city and, do the live show there and go around from town to town to town to do it that way, as well as get picked up by a network. We could do it on TV. Again, why the hell not? So for all you showrunners out there, hit me up, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com.
Man, what was that experience like for y'all? Because that was your first live show and whatnot. So
yeah, in fact, I was just on the phone with Kevin Israel about an hour ago, and we're talking about trying to get lined up for a second. It was great. The thing I was actually telling this story to I was on another podcast last night. The thing that was kind of funny. Again, everyone was spread out. Again, this is right in the middle of the pandemic. Was this past January, and we had people. we $25 for the ticket. They would order. Thing was damn near sold out in quotes because again we had to do 25% capacity. People were emailing me like, "Oh my god, I got COVID, and can I get my money back? Oh my god, I got COVID, can I get my money back?" So then the night of that, whatever, it was still pretty well, I think we had like 40, 45 people there all in all. And the thing that threw me for a loop, because you've been to a stadium seating theater before many a time. So we watch it and then we have a table set up with speakers so the crowd can hear us. And we're doing the show, and I'm writing jokes the entire time, and only if a joke killed could you hear laughter because the mask were trapping people's laughs. Oh. So I'm sitting here at the bottom, I'm like, man, I thought that was a good one. That didn't get shit. So I was talking to people at the end of the show. I go, were we just kind of like hitting missing? Like, no. People were laughing unless they were guffawing. We couldn't hear it. Yeah. But if you're in the crowd, everyone was laughing. Like, oh, okay, that was they were laughing. So that kind of threw us for a loop. But all in all, I mean, go listen to it. It's on. You can download it or as well, but not watch it. That's the only one we don't have on YouTube because we didn't have cameras there. But yeah, I thought it went off without a hitch. We had a blast. Everyone loved it. They're like, "When's the next one?" I go, "Well, the whole pandemic thing, we kind of shied away from. It's a pain in the ass to kind of get going, but we're gonna do another one hopefully very soon, and would love to do these things around the country."
So was that a marketing thing just because Cobra Kai was coming out, or
No, it was blind dumb luck. Like Bill and Joanne, and this is actually Joanne's choice. But we have Bill and Joanne on separately a lot. Bill's been on like 4 times. I think Joanne's been 3. And I said, well, wouldn't it be fun to do a live show together? Like, yeah. I go, why don't you two pick one together? And Joanne goes, Karate Kid, fuck that movie. I go, wow, that's a perfect time to do this film. And it wasn't because of that. And ironically, even more ironically, we had Bill had put me in touch with Sean Kanan. Who's Sean Kanan? You're going to know who Sean Kanan is. You're going to remember who he is in a few months when Cobra Kai season 4 drops. He's the bad boy of comedy, Mike Barnes in Karate Kid 3. So we had him on the show, but he did Footloose, which is funny. But it was we were kind of playing clips about this talking shit, and then Bill, he leaves a voicemail for me to play to Bill, and it's funny. But yeah, Sean Kane's a great dude as well. He did like I said, Footloose, great episode. He was more diplomatic because he's still a working actor. And when I'm basically calling Sarah Jessica Parker a horse face, he's like laughing on camera, but he just can't emote, sound the laughter out. He goes, she must be a nice lady. Again, got to play the game. I get you.
Yeah. So damn, Kevin number 2. I don't know if you've seen or heard it or whatever, but we all did a watch along of the next Karate Kid, the lady one. So that was a hoot and a ride, and it was just like it gave you the Mystery Science Theater vibes and everything. We was just all sitting there just watching the movie together and just kind of ripping it apart as it went and whatnot. And that's some hilarious shit.
It is. The only thing is this, though. It's just you can't. It's tough to do that because people aren't going to hear you when you talk. If you do that, like if you do a live show, you can't do it live because otherwise it'll just fuck everything up. But I mean, yeah, we would do that as a show, even though again, Mystery Science Theater 3000 did that, but it was shitty films. I think, and they also did films that have public domain where it's just anyone can do it, right? Like Night of the Living Dead, you can do. But if you do Karate Kid, you have to pay a licensing fee and all that shit, which we had to do with when you ran at the theater, you have to pay for the movie, which whatever. I think it was like $300 for the theater and everything like that. So yeah, that'd be a hoot.
Yeah. So what's next? I mean, that's always a famous question the podcaster would ask another podcaster and everything. I mean, what is your vision here on out for the next 100 episodes?
The next 100 are just getting bigger names on the podcast.
So, well, back to the hit list thing. Who is your target? Who would love to get?
Like I think Doug Benson, Bill Burr, Daniel Tosh, comics, especially because it's funny.
I just finished watching all of F is for Family.
We have holy shit. Funny you say that. The guy who created that show, his name is Mike Price. He's also a writer for The Simpsons. We had him on twice, and that's another film. People go, "What's the film?" You're like, "Oh, this guy picked this film. He's a fucking asshole." And then you watch, you go, "Ooh, he's right." Mike Price did Batman Begins.
Okay.
Sorry, no, I'm taking it back. Batman Returns with Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that's not hard.
It's funny, but I remember loving it. I remember loving it so much, and then and then he came back to do Argo. Mike did, but Mike is the creator of F is for Family, and you talk about, again. I know I'm saying this a lot. One of the nicest guys in the world. One of the nicest dudes. Shouts us out on Twitter here and there. Couldn't be a cooler dude. Fellow guy from Jersey as well. So, but yeah, he's a super nice guy, and he created F is for Family. I'm like, hey, go tell Bill Burr to get him on the show too, and he's like, yeah, I'll see what I can do, and whatever. But
maybe just like lit a cigarette and like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, look, Chappelle. I mean, look, the bigger name, the better. I'd be great. I
would fly to where you are to watch that. I don't need to be on like how we are now. I want to be in the room with you as you do it.
Yeah. But the problem would be, though, of course, for some of these big name guys, it's like, well, I can't go nuts on these because, I want to work with
I
some of these
still want to
directors
work.
that did
Yeah.
these films. Exactly.
But
But I mean,
somebody
I
like
think,
Chappelle, he
yeah,
do
he
his
wouldn't
own
give a
shit. I
shit.
don't think he would give a damn, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Burr now works for fucking Disney with The Mandalorian, so he may have to curtail. But Chappelle has always been, fuck you. I'm going to smoke a cigarette where I want to, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, so that's part of it. Again, the live show across the country is what we want to do. Live shows and just bring up the audience. I mean, I did a little bit of introspective thinking, and I was looking at some of our download numbers, and it's like over the weekend, like the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, what we download numbers that we got those 3 days, it would have taken us 2 months a year ago to get those numbers. So it's just like we're making moves, and now it's just can't stop, won't stop. I hate that saying. Jesus, what's wrong with me? But just but just not stopping. Like we don't quit. Like I won't quit. I'm a stubborn German. Kevin Israel is a stubborn, guy too. We know we've got a winner. Once you know you have a winner, it's really easy to keep that momentum going and just what next? How else? And that's like the one thing that drives me, keeps me up at night. It's like, what do I do next? I can't be stagnant. Don't want to fuck up. Don't want to
Yeah.
lose ground. What do we do next? How do we improve? Where do we need to improve? Da 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 da. And with social media and all that bullshit, that's our weakest part of our game. I mean, we're great on Twitter,
Yeah.
but all the other shit, the marketing stuff, like I'd rather just someone say, if a network, hey, we're going to pay you to do your show in our studios, and you're going to make, I don't know, 250
Money.
grand a year, and then you're going to go do your live shows, you're going to tour and make more money there, whatever the fuck. And I'd be like, you know what? That's life. That's it. I'm done. I'm good. I'll do this for the rest of my life and be happy.
Hell yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you got a good thing going. I mean,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
More time comes. I mean, you'll get the live show thing off the ground because with the restrictions and everything, that'll lax up. Or you can just go to Florida, where it's the Wild Wild West. But
well, actually, the problem is going to be this, and we were starting to talk about it. Is that now that movies are back, they'll be doing less and less renting of theaters out. Once
yeah,
they get
that
the
is
full,
true.
once and movies are still, for Christ's sakes, I'm very angry at Paramount because they were supposed to put out Jackass 4 next month, which I'm dying for. They pushed that to
Are you
September.
now?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll do it without question. I love the Jackass films.
I
Watched
have all of
Jackass
them.
2 on the plane back from Vegas last week. Still laughed my balls off.
Mhm.
They pushed back Top Gun 2. They pushed back Mission Impossible 7 or 8 or whatever. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm not
fuck.
worried about Top Gun.
I want to listen. I don't have much hope for it. I'm just very curious. But Mission Impossible, those shits are fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
Especially
oh yeah.
the last 3. Fallout. Fallout is one of the best films in the last 10 years.
That
Easily the
is a
top
great
10 of the
movie.
last 10 years.
Mhm.
Fallout is amazing. I'm like,
Well,
how do
I
you get
tell you what, I'm coming on the show and I'm gonna rip that bitch to shred. Nah,
Fallout? Good luck.
nah,
Fallout's so
I'm
good.
just kidding. I don't think I have it in me. That's one, you haven't asked me to come, and two, I could not pick a movie that I could rip to shreds.
See, that's it. We would totally have you. But I need you to find a film that just draws your ire. In fact, I'll tell you a story. Every year, and in fact, I think we're due for it soon. Kevin Israel and I we started this last year. Every year, one of us, and both of us did it, switch roles. One of us sits in the gutter seat and picks a film, and then we usually bring on our, Bill Schultz, our buddy, to co-host. So Kevin Israel sat in the gutter's chair, and he chose The Shining because he feels that is overrated as shit.
Ooh.
And he's right. It is overrated. It's not a horror film.
Well,
It's a
what do
thriller.
you feel? Have you seen Doctor Sleep?
You know what? I did, and I was very pleasantly surprised. It was
I
pretty
like that
decent.
shit. I like that shit.
Pretty decent.
I let the
I'm not-
kid watch it, and I was like, the kid got murdered, and she was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
I was like, "Hi,
Yeah.
you be all right. You be all
Yeah.
right."
You feel for that, especially now that I have kids. I'm like, oh,
Oh
that's
yeah.
always a rough watch when you see the kids get killed. You're like, oh, Christ. And the other one, I sat down in the gutter's chair, and I just listen. I'll pat myself in the back. That was a masterclass on how to destroy a film. And the film I chose, A Christmas Story. That film
Okay.
fucking stinks.
I
It's
can see that.
awful. It's
I can see
terrible. People love it. You know why? Because you watch it repetitiously from TABS and TNT putting that shit on a loop for the last month and a half of the year, and it just became Stockholm Syndrome. That film stinks. It's not funny. It's not enjoyable. It's awful.
Yeah.
Now listen to that episode. That's a good one.
Funny you mentioned that one too, because right in my neighborhood, a couple streets up or whatever, guy got the freaking the leg lamp in his window.
Our buddy Bill Schultz had one in frame while I gutted that movie.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, Fragile. That's so hilarious. Oh, Fragile. Oh, you'll shoot your eye out. And of course, the bully with the coonskin cap, excuse me. No one's going to take a ginger seriously wearing a coonskin cap as a bully. No, I'd punch him right in the face. No, I'm not buying this. Amongst other things, the film stinks. It's horrible. Trash.
yeah.
It's
I mean, some of the ones that you've mentioned, over the course of this podcast, I was just like, wow. But some of them, I'm just like, yeah, I can see that. Christmas Story is one of them. I can remember. I mean, everybody remember the taglines and the cool bits and everything, whatever. But like, I'm playing that movie back in my head right now, and I'm just like, I don't remember a lot of shit, but I remember that movie is just like not, something. I'm not
People
gonna
love
watch that with the kid.
Yeah, terrible. Oh, here are two more I think that are bulletproof. Ready? Alien and Terminator 2.
Oh yeah, fucking yeah, yes.
No
Terminator 2.
one's gonna have the balls to take those two on.
No, I don't think so. What do you think about the newest one?
Newest Terminator?
Yeah, Dark Fate.
That was fucking awful. It was terrible. And I didn't want to see it until all the reviews are coming in. It's great. It really is great.
I thought
it's the best one since T2.
No, it's not.
And, it was bad. It was so bad and just like, oh.
I mean, it had an agenda. It was just like, it was talking about the immigration crisis.
I mean, bring Sarah Connor back. All right, cool. But then everything else was just like, and the final battle scene. Oh God,
yeah,
it was
a rehash of 2.
Thank you very much.
Pretty much.
Thank you very much. 3, not good, but wasn't that bad. But it breaks I'm gonna fucking coin this. I'm gonna like three-peat. I have my sequel theory is 2-part. Excuse me. You cannot have a sequel. A, when the original is an R, but you cannot make your sequel PG-13 or PG.
Yeah,
never works.
Mm-hmm.
C, Terminator 3. C, Revenge of the Nerds 2. C, I think Police Academy 4 was the only one that breaks that mold because I think that one's amazing. And the second rule, you can't have the sequel 10 years after the last film was released. C, Indiana Jones Part 4. The only one I can think of that did do well with that. I love Tron Legacy. I think that I love that film.
I need to go back and revisit
it. It's visually beautiful. Mm-hmm. I liked it. It was good. But boy, when you have a sequel more than 10 years after the fact, look at Top Gun 2. I'm sure it's going to stink, but you got to keep them. Not saying you have to put them out right after. You're like Nightmare on Elm Street, one every single year exactly after that. No.
Yeah.
Take a few years off, 4 or 5 years, no problem. But when you do it at 10 years or more, it loses everything. And no good. T2 to T3. That was 91 to 2003. Whoops, that ship set sail. And they're talking about doing Lethal Weapon 5. No, thank you. 4 stunk. 4 is awful. 3 was really bad. I forgot how bad 3 was.
4 gave me Jet Li, so I wasn't too upset.
Don't care. It was such pandering horse shit and just 2 is the best one. I like 2 better than 1. How about that?
Yeah,
I love 2. 2 is hilarious. 2 is great. But
so to go back to the Terminator series and everything, I dug the John Connor story. What they did with Salvation.
Okay. Oh, with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
Wasn't that bad?
It was supposed to be a 3 movie series, but
yeah, well, it bombed, and that was the end of the director Mick G. I think that was his guy who did that one. Yeah, and again, they made a PG-13. Stop! You can't do that with these films. You gotta go R. It's worth it. I mean, shit. Look at Logan. I mean, look. Don't get me wrong. The X-Men films. Well, the first one stinks. X-Men 2 is still good. Which actually, we had a guy in the podcast. His name's Task. He hates he wants to do every X-Men film. I go, you can't do X-Men 3. We all know stinks. You can't do the Wolverine films except for Logan, which we had another guy do. First Class is great. Days of Future Past is great, but Apocalypse is trash.
Yeah,
And Dark
Phoenix
Phoenix is a fucking manatee abortion.
Need to go.
You can't tell me Apocalypse was even this. Apocalypse was not that. Apocalypse was dog shit.
No, I begrudgingly have that in my collection.
See, there you go. See, throw that away.
See, but that's the thing though. It's just like I have to have the set.
You're a completionist?
Yeah, completely, pretty much. That's why I got all the Fast and the Furiouses. That's why I have all the Halloweens, all the freaking Nightmare on Elm Street, all the freaking Friday the 13th, all the freaking Maze Runners, all the Harry Potters.
Maze Runners. Oh, what are you, 14?
I mean, I have kids. Come on, man.
Oh, that's right. Okay. You're right. Take it back. I take it back.
Yeah. But and then I got like what? Oh, I don't think I watched it with the kid though. I got Congo. You remember that?
That was terrible. That was terrible.
Amy, Pretty Gorilla.
The book is Crichton's books are very. I mean, we all know about that. I mean, Jurassic Park, by the way, the book blows the movie away. The ending alone. Did you ever read the book or no?
No.
The book is they napalm that island, and more people die. Yes,
as you should.
Right. Thank you. The Lost World. The movie is trash. The book is amazing. The movie stinks. The third one, you're like, ugh. The first one, Jurassic World, I dug that. I own that one. But Fallen Kingdom was fucking garbage too.
Well, I like the direction that they're going. It's like the motherfuckers getting loose and what's going to happen next.
I mean, the new one comes out next year, I think, right? I mean, it's...
I like the line of, you know, the way they line these movies up or whatever. Because like with the new Mortal Kombat or whatever, a lot of people, you know, bitching and complaining about it. Oh, they didn't do this. Oh, this looked like this.
They didn't do I like it. First of all, I like how I made it R. You can do real fighting and real violence and real fatalities. And I agree with this point. You had to have a tournament. There was no tournament. You had to have a tournament.
Well, I mean, this film is setting
the stage. Tournament. I get it. You know, I get that.
And it's almost like a feeler. It's just like, all right, here's a little taste. I mean, how do you like it? Oh, you like it? Well, here's the main course.
And then they make the main character some random nobody who's not in the game. Like, oh, fuck you. There are a cornucopia of characters to choose from.
Who had literal plot armor.
Did not dig that. A lot of it. In fact, it's funny. I was actually watching that eating dinner right before we started here. So it was on HBO. I go, oh, you DVR it again. Let me watch it.
I like it because what the potential it has to bring us next. That's a big old stein there, homeboy.
It is. That's why I drink my everything. People go, "You drinking beer?" My work Zoom meetings like, "What's in there? Beer?" I go, "No, orange juice." What am I, an animal? Oh, if they were now, what they need to do is they need to do the same thing from Street Fighter that they did for Mortal Kombat, because we're owed a Street Fighter film, because that was that was a mastodon abortion. I'll change my prehistoric animals.
Man, Raul Julia did that for his kid, man. Come on, we can't.
And then he died. Well, now you tell me what happened.
I know. I mean, he did it for his kid because he was dying. The movie didn't kill him. Come on, man. We can't do that to him.
It was so bad. But yes, we need a Street Fighter film done right. We need a Mortal Kombat film. Well, we got one.
Shit, we need a Double Dragon movie done right.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because it's so funny. I never saw Double Dragon because it looked so bad when it came out. I go, this is gonna stink. And I never saw the Mario Brothers movie for the same exact reason. Go, why the fuck am I gonna? This looks terrible.
Well, I watched the Double Dragon movie because Mark Dukakis was in it. He's a fantastic martial artist. Not so much a great actor, but in his later years, like currently now, he's on the Netflix series Wushu Assassins. He's in John Wick 3. So I mean, he's having a resurgence and everything. But I enjoyed Mark Dukakis because he's a badass martial artist. He was in Drive, Only the Strong, you know, and I dug his martial arts, so that's why I like it.
Not familiar with the guy, but all right, that's cool.
You never seen Only the Strong?
Is that the capoeira one?
Yes, that's Mark Dukakis, the main character.
I saw that
a long time
when I was out in college, and that's all I remember. It's Banana Way.
Yeah, Banana. If anything, that's what you remember.
That's it, and that was not good.
Sorry. I just like
Don't
to fight.
apologize. It's like,
I'll 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 suffer through a film for some fights. I'll suffer through a film for some visual effects or
well,
whatever the
it's
case
again,
may
we did Mad Max, and you talk about visual effects. Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road, we're talking about.
be.
Visually, it's probably the most visually stunning, beautiful film,
Mhm.
my opinion, since Tron Legacy, cinematography wise.
Yeah.
But the fucking action is just it's good. It's like 3 good scenes of fighting, and then the dialogue is so I'm just gonna spoil this episode, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But you're like, but the action, it was good, but you're not like, whoa, like you're like, holy shit. Like Dread, there's an example.
Oh,
Hour
Dread.
and a half
Yeah.
of shit blowing up. It was great.
I
So
love that.
self-aware, so fun. And I loved it. But that's one of the very feew reboots that they got right.
The
Otherwise, I don't
only
see
thing
reboots.
that I was clamoring for in that Dread movie was double whammy. Matter of
It's
fact, the original Dread with Sylvester Stallone is sitting in my Amazon cart right now.
it's so bad. So bad. I rewatched it. I go, oh,
Oh man, it kind of remind me of the Demolition Man, but
I
Demolition Man
love.
is
Well,
way
that's a good
better.
film.
Yeah, that's a good
Great,
film.
excuse me. It's a great film.
Mhm. I like it. That
A-
introduced me
and
to
they
the
are making a sequel. Supposedly, they've written a sequel, which
no, 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 no. Sylvester Stallone, if you want to keep making movies, he just needs to keep going down the line with the Expendables franchise, which they are making a 4th one, which I'm excited for, because I want all my childhood action heroes to come back in all these films, just to wham bam, blow up shit and kick things and just go on by their day. That's all I
yeah,
want.
but they're all in their mid to late 60s, and they're not kicking shit. I mean,
Hey man, you seen what
Lundgren,
Chuck Norris did in that film? All he did was hold guns and shoot. He didn't have to do no kicky stuff.
kicky stuff.
That's all I need. I just need to see him. Oh, he here? Cool. That's cool. Then he can go on
I
by
mean,
his
I,
business.
I I I get to watch morbidly obese Steven Seagal try and run around and shoot people with a ponytail.
That's what I'm waiting on.
I am
That's what
too.
I'm waiting on. We got to see it. So speaking of the Expendables, I mean that's I'm trying to think of the people that we be missing right now. So we missing Steven Seagal.
Van
Um,
Damme.
well, no, Van Damme was in
He was in
the
this, right? He was in it. You're right. You're right. You're
he
right.
was in the second one, I believe. I believe, yeah.
The fact that you
Steven,
know that scares me.
because I like that shit.
I
um,
you do.
so we missing Seagal. We can probably throw Mike Tyson has become an action star over the years, which I wouldn't mind them just tossing him in there because you got Terry Crews in there who is not predominantly known for action films. So I
No.
mean, and then
Snipes was in this, right? Snipes was in the
Snipes
Expendables.
was in the third one. They
See, I
broke him out of jail, which was ironic because he just got out of jail for the tax shit.
tax evasion. Was Jet Li in this shit too?
Jet Li was in all 3 of them, but he didn't have like a big role in the third one. He just kind of like had a cameo in the beginning and he popped up at the end.
Arnold was in it. I know that.
Yep,
Bruce Willis was
Arnold
in
was
it.
in
All
it.
right.
Arnold was in
Stallone.
all of them, but he didn't have like an active role until like the second and the third one.
Yeah, because he was governor. He couldn't. You could only do a day or two on set at most, and that was
Yeah.
it. Who the hell else are we missing? I think is that shit.
I mean, they had Harrison Ford in there. They
Oh my god, I even never remember that he was in that.
yep, the last one they had Mel Gibson. He was the bad guy.
All right.
They added new what I like about it, they sprinkle in newer guys too. So they had Scott Atkins in there. Who he's mostly a behind the scenes guy. He's a stunt guy, but he
You know what they need now? Of course, they need The Rock and Vin Diesel in these next ones.
yes. So the Rock,
Jason Momoa.
yeah, Jason Momoa. Which, if you haven't seen Bullet to the Head, that's a pretty good movie. Is
I may
Sylvester
have.
Stallone and
I
Jason
thought, yeah,
Momoa.
yeah. I think I did see that one.
Shit. So, damn.
Timothy Chalamet.
If you want to sprinkle some new people in there, we need to get Maurice Crump in there, who I'll advocate for till I'm blue in the face.
I don't know
A
who
lot of
that
people
is.
don't know him, but he did a lot of the stunt work for not stunt work, but he trained a lot of the actors for Black Panther and
Okay.
some other people that I know.
Oh, how about Michael Cera?
So because he did American Ultra, right? So
No, he's super. I don't know if he did or not, but super bad.
no, that's
I'm
super
just saying.
bad. I'm getting him mixed up with Eisenberg guy.
Yeah, they're the same. They're the same
Yeah,
wafy,
I get
nerdy.
those two mixed up.
No, that's a hard pass. What about Nah,
Is
Daniel
Charles
Kaluuya
Bronson
didn't do
still
much in
alive? Charles Bronson dead, right?
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. Need
How do you
him.
forget Kurt Russell?
Goddamn Snake. Need him.
I'm not an Escape from New York guy. I think it was not that good. Does not hold up. And Escape from LA is fucking
What about
awful.
what about Soldier though?
Never saw it.
What? Well,
Big
it
Trouble
was
in Little China, that's my jam.
yeah, of
That's my
course.
shit right there.
But like with him, Soldier, I think what they had
Jamie
it's all
Foxx would be good too.
true. Him and Terry Crews could play off each other. Um, yeah, so I mean, we got with Michael B. Jordan coming
Yes,
into his
yep.
own.
How about the kid who played Ivan Drago's kid in Creed 2?
Yeah, him. You get I mean, I'm trying to think of more classic ones.
Yeah.
But it's just like they escaping me because I mean, a lot of them wind up being in here. Shit.
You
I mean, you
could
got Dolph
argue you
Lundgren,
could
lumbery
you
ass in
could
there.
argue you could argue Affleck. He did Daredevil, he did
Yeah.
Reindeer Games, he did one of the Jack Ryan movies.
Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cavill, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Motherf
like that would be, I think out of anybody that they could get, I think he will be one of the big ones.
He'd be the big ass. I mean, but
Yeah, the biggest
Tom
one.
Cruise, I mean, I make no bones about it. Tom Cruise is the most
And he can fly a
not the
jet.
yeah, he can do everything. Tom Cruise is the most entertaining actor of our time. The best actor is Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, you know, when you put the X's and the O's together. Tom Cruise bats 750 in my book. The guy rarely makes a bad movie, and he's just
The Mummy.
I said rarely, but that's one of them, yes. Oblivion is another.
Vanilla Sky.
I haven't seen it in a while. My wife owns it. I haven't watched it in fucking 20 years. But I mean, okay, but The Edge of Tomorrow, The Mission Impossibles,
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow.
Minority Report, all that shit.
And
War of the Worlds was good.
Then he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna start doing my own stunts.
I mean, was he fucking 60, 59, something like that?
Yeah. I mean,
He's
but
amazing.
Scientology is keeping them young, so.
Goddamn.
And then what, Jim Brown.
Oh, yeah, from Running Man. He was in Running Man.
So we get him. We get the
how about the guy who played Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Come on now.
Now
you're just being silly.
I am. Weird Al Yankovic from UHF. Remember him? No.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I think we pretty much exhausted.
Yeah.
Every.
I'm pretty sure we have. Because I mean, other than that, we can only start getting stunt people and like the whole Asian cast and crew from all the Raid movies.
Wait. What about Jackie Chan? We missed him. Oh, and
right.
And motherfucking Ip Man.
Yeah, Donnie Yen. God
Donnie
damn.
Yen. We missed those two. As soon as you said that, I forgot about those two dudes.
Yep.
And how dare I?
Donnie Yen, I wouldn't mind seeing Donnie Yen being the bad guy.
He was great in Rogue One.
Yeah, I am the Force, and the Force is me.
It's with me. Yeah, man.
If speaking of Donnie Yen, I got a movie recommendation for you. It's a movie called Flashpoint.
I've heard of this, I think.
And I don't know if it's on a streaming service that I could think of right now, but I mean, it's worth the rent. It's worth the buy. And he whips all the ass. All the ass. Like, hey, ass.
Whipping it.
Whipping all of it.
I'm with you. I smell what The Rock is cooking. Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's another guy you can have in this.
He was in the first one.
Well, shit.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like you can think of these things, and they have a good because they're making a fourth one. I'm interested to see who they're gonna put in the fourth one.
LeBron.
No. I didn't like that movie.
I didn't see the new Space Jam because I don't want to.
Kids.
You can make it show them the Jordan version.
That's my excuse as well. I was like,
yeah, I've heard too many people tell me it's so bad. Don't even give them the hour and a half credit. And I have HBO Max. It's like, why bother? Yeah.
So this is my point of contempt with that movie. It's just like,
here's one for you from the 90s. Maybe Christian Slater.
Yeah,
Nick Cage.
See, that's another one that they haven't had. He's been Con Air. Goddamn Snake Eyes, freaking Gone in 60 Seconds.
The Rock?
Yeah, all these recent. I just watched the Wonderland joint with all the fucking animatronics that came to life and shit.
Didn't see that one.
It's one of those crazy Nick Cage movies.
I think all of them are crazy.
He did not
Mandy,
speak.
that was bonkers, Mandy, if you
He
saw
did
that
not
one.
speak a line of dialogue throughout the whole movie. Not
Yep.
one.
Well, that's what happens when you have 8 castles and you're going through bankruptcy. You say yes to everything, dialogue or not.
It's true. But on that note, I think this is where we put a pin in it, sir.
Yeah, buddy. I think we've conquered
Because we
the
can go
movie
for about
casting
another hour
industry.
just trying to put people in the Expendables.
Yeah. We're gonna get notes from like Gilbert Gottfried. Why didn't you mention me for the Expendables? Hilarious.
You know what? Let Gilbert Gottfried know where he can find all. Let Gilbert Gottfried know. Let everybody know where they can find y'all on social media and everything that you got going on.
You can find us on
No, you got to
Gutting.
do Gilbert Gottfried voice. Come
Oh,
on.
I'm not gonna listen. I want my message to go out clearly so people don't fuck it up.
Oh, very well.
Guttingthesacredcow.com. Why? Many reasons. One, we have a page dedicated to all of the links to your podcast platforms. If you're not on iTunes, no sweat. We're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on Spreaker, Stitcher, Podbean, Podbay, whatever the fuck else there is out there. We're on it. We're also on YouTube, so there's no excuses there. We also have every day, Kevin Israel and I have articles for you, blogs. My favorite one, that's called That Doesn't Happen, where we watch movies, of course, and we see things that screenwriters try putting into the script as like a regular everyday occurrence, but you're like, no, that doesn't happen. Perfect example, Terminator 2,
Okay.
where John Connor pulls down the windshield, the visor, and the spare keys drop in his lap.
Yeah,
no one puts their spare keys in it. That doesn't happen.
That's just a movie trope.
Right. Thank you. So we do that. We talk about the movies that we've watched. We do movie news. We do movie quotes. We're big on movie quotes. We do trailer talk, is where we watch a trailer and go, and we're going to give our opinion. Is it going to be success or is it going to suck? So guttingthesacredcow.com. Every day is articles that you can read while at a red light or taking a shit or pretending to be working. One of those, sorry. And of course, we have a merch shop on guttingthesacredcow.com. Hats, bags, mugs, t-shirts, hats, long sleeve shirts, you name it, we fucking have it. Guttingthesacredcow.com is where everything is. Now, social media. Facebook, we're on, of course, GTSC Podcast on Twitter, Gutting the Sacred Cow on TikTok, Instagram. We could use help on Instagram. Our numbers stink on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So guttingthesacredcow.com has everything but GTSC Podcast, Twitter, Gutting the Sacred Cow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and hell, even Tumblr. Yes, Tumblr. I don't know why, but we're there. And
hey, me too.
Oh, there you have it. And if you want to advertise with us, or if you want to drop by and say hi and whatnot, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com. Drop us a line. And last but not least, if you like what you're hearing, if you listen to the podcast, you know, God damn it, these guys are fucking spot on their game. And we are. Mm-hmm. Go to your podcast platform. Leave us a 5-star rating and a 2 or 3 sentence review. We really appreciate that shit. We really, truly do. Everybody that helps us in the algorithm. And I'll share with you a review we got just the other day. The guy gave us 3 stars. Why? Because he was having trouble downloading the podcast from Apple.
So but blamed us 2 stars. On you. That was Apple.
Thank you. Yeah. So we got dinged 2 stars.
You should have went to the Apple app review thing and reviewed the Apple app, not your shit.
Yeah, he should have, but he didn't. So I screenshot and go, let's talk Josiah, because that was his name. Josiah, let's have a talk. Shouldn't your bone of contention be with Apple and not us? I don't know. Give us a rating on that. Guttingthesacredcow.com, like I said. Guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com if you want to advertise or say hi. And KevinGoatee.com if you're a fan of NFL bets. I'm 14 and 6 this year against the spread. Having a monster, yeah, so far so good. Knock on wood. Knock on wood if you're with me, as John Gruden says, right? I do my picks also on Instagram, Kevin Goatee, where my daughter eats a cookie or a piece of chocolate while I give my picks. She's the cutest goddamn thing you've ever seen. So if you enjoy kids eating sweets while me giving my picks and my logic behind it, well, Kevin Goatee on GOOTEE.com, as well as on Instagram to see said. I call her the Cookie Monster. So there you have it.
Word. That's what my sister-in-law calls me.
The Cookie Monster?
Yes, because I went to her house and literally ate all the cookies in the cabinet.
What cookies were they?
I think it was the EL fudge ones.
Those are good.
I know. I couldn't stop.
I have to tell you twice. If you were to say some bullshit like oatmeal raisin, go, well, this conversation really is over because those are some garbage
Yeah,
ass cookies.
well, I've had the since living here in Houston, I've had the greatest oatmeal raisin cookie I've ever had in my entire life. And it's sold on the other side of town. And every time I find an excuse to go on the other side of town, I stop by there and I get a motherfucking cookie.
That's well, you found him. Yeah, I was to say I was in your town back in May,
Mhm.
and oh my god, what's that Mexican place I went to? It's the fucking greatest I've ever had. It's a chain though. Um,
Uh, Taco Cabana?
nope,
It's not Taco Bell.
no. They do
What?
fajitas amazing. It's everything about it was amazing.
What?
Lupe tortillas, Lupe tortillas.
Oh, okay.
That shit was bonkers fucking good.
Yes. Hey, I haven't run across it. I've been hitting up like Pollo Loco and all kinds of things like that. But
Never
I
had.
might do it
I
tomorrow
was
because
I
I'm
was
off.
amazed. Listen, in the north here, I'm right outside New York City. In North Jersey, we don't have the Mexican that you have down there. We have the steaks and all that. We have the pizza. We don't have the
Mhm.
Mexican food like you guys do. We fully admit that. And I did Whataburger for the first time down your neck of the woods. Good, pretty good.
Mhm.
Not as great as people were trying to tell me it was. I will still
Mhm.
take Five Guys over that as well. The Whataburger fries are decent. They're better than
Mhm.
Shake Shack fries. They're not as
Mhm.
good as Five Guy fries. They're not as good as McDonald's fries. The burgers are very good, but not
Mhm.
again. People are trying to tell me it's better than In-N-Out Burger. I'm not going to go that far. It's good,
Mhm.
but it's In-N-Out burgers are amazing. Um, Blanking on it. Five Guys burgers are amazing. The fries are amazing at Five Guys. The shakes are amazing at In-N-Out. But the fries at In-N-Out are trash. They are terrible.
Did you?
Terrible fries.
I don't know if you was here in season for it or whatever, but they had a Dr. Pepper shake at Whataburger, and that shit
I
was
hate Dr. Pepper, so that's never going to come
oh,
across my
well,
radar.
very, very well. I'm sorry to waste your time.
No time.
But
Listen, if my wife loves Dr. Pepper, I will tell her that if we ever go to Texas together.
very well. I 10 out of 10.
I believe you. I'll tell her that.
But once again, you've been a guest of the Random Rounds with Rob, and you always know the door is open. This is like your third or fourth time here. So
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity as always.
and shit, we see y'all motherfuckers next time.
See you motherfuckers next time.
Yeah, tagline.